This video is going to introduce the uses of sum, esse, and fui, which is the verb to be in Latin. To be can do one of either two things. It can be a linking sentence, meaning that you're linking two different ideas together in one sentence. So if I say like you are a person, you and person are the same thing, but they're two different words. So you can link together two things like that, or you can have just simply some kind of existential idea, which is basically saying that something exists in the world. So we'll move on with that in the slides coming up here. But I think a good example of existential to be is our good friend René Descartes, who said cogito ergo sum, which means I think, therefore I am. And he's of course talking about how he can perceive himself thinking, and therefore he exists. So this sum right here is a form of existential to be. Okay. And so if you think about that, it might give you a better idea of what he's talking about and what existential to be might be. So yeah, let's get started here. So you start off with the form of to be that's going to set up a linking pattern. Now linking is actually going to be a whole new kernel pattern for us. It's going to be much like transitive, intransitive, except now we have a whole new thing, which is going to be subject, verb plus subject complement. And what that means is that you can have something like, we'll do an English version here. Let's say the man, the subject, is, and the is our verb, and a subject complement is going to be something that is still the same entity as the man, which is what this note up here is saying, because we have one entity with two names or characteristics, because the word is means that we're not changing entities. This is not a direct object. All right, so this is our new one, a subject complement. Let's just say the man is a lawyer, and basically the man and lawyer in this case are the same entity in the world. All right, there's a guy. All right, he's a man and he's a lawyer. They both refer to the exact same entity in the world. We already said we have two names for him, which is how this linking pattern is coming to be. One entity is also another entity. Okay, so if we look at our Latin example, Caesar est magnus imperator non miles. Let's take a look here. We call Caesar the subject. He's first here. Est is then our verb to be. Now magnus modifies imperator. They are both masculine nominative singular. So here before the comma we have the sentence Caesar or Caesar is a great general. And now we do some gapping. Okay, we have to gap in Caesar and est, both. Okay. So in both sentences, we have our subject Caesar right here, our verb est, and we have different subject complements. So the subject complement over here is imperator, as we've labeled already, and it's over here as miles. So even in the English, you're kind of gapping Caesar is. Okay? Good stuff. So I hope linking is clear to you. Let's move on to existential. Okay, the word existential is actually pretty easy to define. It looks big, but if we look at this right here, the word exist is right in this existential, and that's exactly what existential to be means. It's something exists. It's just out there. All right, there is a thing. So we were often going to translate there is or there was, and that just means that it's out there. It exists in the world. And oftentimes you'll see a place with this. So here we have in Achaea in our Latin sentence. And Achaea means battle or battle line, okay? So here we have est, there is, and then we have our verb or our subject, the general. There is a general in, oops, sorry. There is a general in the battle. Or you can say in the battle line, because Achaea actually refers to that battle line. But notice the phrase there is just saying it exists. So the general exists, and he's in the battle line. There is no subject complement. As you can see, there's only one nominative here. And you realize in that other sentence that the linking pattern actually has two nominatives. That's the difference between these two. So if you have just one nominative in your sentence, you're likely going to have an existential. Also, so one clue, if we only have one nominative. Okay. Another clue is this little paragraph right here. Often the form to be is at an extremity of the sentence, and that we should say in the existential use. Okay. This is not always the case, and it's not always the case in a linking for it to not be at the beginning or the end, but most of the time, if you have an existential use, it'll be near the beginning or the end. I mean, by near, I mean it's either the first word or the second word or last word or second to last word. Okay? So just keep in mind you're saying like there exists, so there is a good way to translate this. If it's in the past tense, there was is just as good. Okay? And I just thought it'd be useful to be able to see the verb to be in all of its forms that you guys know so far at present. And then some of you are doing the imperfect for the first time, but some of you already have the imperfect under your belt. So that might be some review for some of you or new for some of you. So yeah, we're gonna do it either way. All right. So we start with sum. That is I am. Esse. You are. Est. He, she, or it is. Somos. We are. Estes. Y'all are. And sunt. They are. Okay? And now your imperfects, you're going to be happy with the endings, I think, but maybe not the first one. The first one's the only one that's kind of weird. You have eram, I was. Eras, make that a little more clear. You were. Erat, he, she, or it was. Eramos, we were. Eratus, y'all were. Oops. And errant, they were. All right, so basically, the rule is you have this ERA thing going on here. So you see era, and then you have your endings MST, mustusnt. So it's actually quite nice if you remember your endings. The only one that might be weird is this one right here because you're thinking it has to be O in some way. And that's just the exception here. You'll often find M as a first person ending when it's not O. Okay? So I hope that the rest of these are fine. But yeah, take note of this and memorize this if you can. All right, so that does it for the verb to be. Make sure to email me if you have questions on it, or you can also rewatch this video. Make sure to rewind and make sure you get everything out of it. Make sure you understand everything, because these will be on exams and they will be in real text when you read them. So for now, have a good day, and I shall see you in class.